Former gymnast Amelia Klein had Olympic goals in her early teens, but the Vancouver resident says her dreams were dashed by an abusive coach.
You know, you're stupid, you're ugly, all sorts of really terrible things to say to a child. And then just, physical abuse as well.
She's just one of an increasing number of Canadian athletes coming forward with allegations of abuse. In the past 6 months, athletes from sports including gymnastics, boxing, and bobsled have brought forth claims of mistreatment against coaches and other officials. And south of the border, American gymnasts recently filed a $1 billion claim against the FBI for failing to stop a sexually abusive sports doctor.
I've been describing it sort of as sports' own Me Too movement.
At the Canadian Olympic Committee's annual session in Montreal, the fight against abuse was top of mind.
The situation is untenable.
We can't fail this.
In front of some of Canadian sport's most prominent figures, Sports Minister Pascal St-Onge touted multiple government initiatives to hold organizations accountable and empower athletes to come forward. Canada's new Independent Sports Integrity Commissioner will be active as of June 20th. Starting in 2023, if sport organizations can't meet certain requirements, they could lose funding. The Canadian Olympic Committee has also pledged $10 million towards sports safety.
We need to make sure that everybody feels that they can speak out when they're going through difficult situations so that it can be assessed and addressed.
Olympic trampoline champion Rosie McLennan is optimistic, but underlined the shattered trust of many athletes.
There were a lot of ideas, there were a lot of concepts, but like, okay, what's next? Who's responsible for what action items and who's going to be accountable?
Trust is the biggest issue. They don't trust the current mechanism in place. They don't know how they're going to trust the new mechanism in place.
Gymnastics Canada is among the governing bodies accused of having a toxic culture. It is facing a class action lawsuit with dozens of gymnasts calling for an investigation.
The main thing is that everybody did their best to support the victims.
It's easy to have policies on paper. It's much harder to actually enforce those policies.
The feeling among Klein and other athletes encouraged but skeptical. Dan Spector, Global News, Montreal.